Hey everybody, it's Gabe from Total Detailing. We're here in our new space. The lobby's not completed yet, so I can't show that to you. But we're going to put together an informational video for you today. We're going to show you how you can care for your ceramic coated car. We're going to show you all the proper washing techniques and proper drying techniques that you should follow once your vehicle has been ceramic coated. So let's get started. Hey guys, so today we have this 2021 Dodge Ram Crew Cab. It's got less than 200 miles. It's come to us for tint, which we already installed, and it's also getting a paint enhancement and our Ceramic Pro Silver Plus package, which is a 10-year warranty package. It's going to get coating all over the glass, the trim, the paint, the wheels. The whole thing is going to be protected for the next 10 years. So we're going to get to washing this thing first. It's covered in salt. It's super grimy. You know, it's the end of February here, and we've been hammered with snow recently, so there's salt everywhere. This truck is no exception. So we're going to wash this today like you should be treating your ceramic coated vehicle. We're going to follow the same wash steps and the same procedures to get this thing cleaned up so we can start with the paint enhancement process and getting it ceramic coated and protected. So we're going to go over the tools you're going to need and we're going to go over the process. So here we go. Okay, so now we're going to go over all the tools that you're going to need to wash your ceramic coated vehicle. So first thing, wheels. Wheels either get washed first or last, whichever you prefer. I like first. Whichever you want to do is totally fine. Things to remember, if your wheels are ceramic coated, you do not want to use a sharply pointed cleaning tool like a wire brush or a speed detail brush or anything like that. You're going to want to use soft cloth and mild scrubbing tools. So we have a bucket here just for wheels. All the tools in this don't touch the paint because they're touching wheels which have metallic brake dust and particles on it. And if you start mixing them with things you use on the paint and the wheels, you'll start getting scratches and you're going to be very unhappy. So the first thing is I have a wash mitt. This wash mitt is dedicated just for the wheels. So this is good for getting around the barrels and around the spokes of the wheels, getting that deep clean that you want. This is only for wheels. I will never use this on paint. The next thing, this is a flag tip brush. It's got soft bristles. They're not hard. They're not pointy. These are very, very mild in cleaning. If you have ceramic coated wheels, as I drip water, if you have ceramic coated wheels, you're going to want a flag tip brush. You can get them long handle or you can get them short. This is the tool that you're going to use to get majority of your scrubbing done. This is an Adams one. There'll be links in the description where you can get stuff from us at autosurfaceprotection.com or you can get it from Amazon, either way. So if you have ceramic coated wheels, this is the type of tool you want to avoid. This is an easy detail brush or a wire wheel brush. This has bristles on it that can trap a lot of grime and dirt over time, and these can scratch the coating on your wheels. And if you have gloss wheels, like gloss black, these can install scratches on those as well, even if they're not coated. So that's something to remember as well. Try and avoid using this unless the wheel is super dirty and you can't get it clean otherwise. This is what we call wheel woolly. It's made of microfiber. It's very, very soft and it's thick, so it holds a lot of cleaning solution. This is going to be good for getting into those tight to reach places. They come in large, medium, and small, so that way you can use them on all different types of wheels. These are not ceramic coated, and they're also a matte finish. So we don't necessarily need to really be super careful about how we're washing them with our tool selection, because we know they're not ceramic coated and we need to get them super clean. This is a soft tip detail brush. You can grab these on Amazon. They're dirt cheap. This is good for doing the faces of the wheels and the lug nuts and things like that. Again, soft bristles, that's always a plus. You're gonna want, for cleaning tire sidewalls, you're gonna want an aggressive bristle brush. This is one of Adam's new wheel brushes. You can see how coarse and abrasive these are. This is for scrubbing tire sidewalls. You really want to keep these off of the rims unless you're having a really tough time. These bristles are really aggressive and they can leave some deep scratching behind. If your wheels are ceramic coated, you do not want to use an aggressive wheel cleaner. You can use something like Meguiar's non-acid wheel cleaner pending you dilute it. Really the only thing you should be using on ceramic coated wheels is soap, just regular car soap. And you can either apply that to the wheels with the foam cannon, or you can put some car wash soap in your bucket and foam it up, and then you can use that. Avoid using super aggressive heavy duty cleaners, degreasers and things like that. You can pull the coating right off of the wheels, and it would just kind of defeat the purpose of having them protected. So up next is our 2 wash buckets, our rinse and wash. We use a 2-bucket method on super grimy cars. We do that just to be safe. You don't have to do that on every single car that you do or your ceramic coated vehicle. That's just the safest method. You can use 1 bucket with multiple wash mitts. Whatever you decide is okay. This is how I'm recommending that you wash your vehicle. In the bottom of each of these buckets is something we call a grit guard. This one is a dirt lock. This slides all the way down to the bottom of the bucket. When you plunge your wash mitt back into the bucket to release all the grime that you've picked up off the car, what this does is help to keep that grime at the bottom of the bucket. And it gives you a surface to agitate your wash mitt against to get it to release all the stuff that's built up in the fibers. That's inside the wash bucket and the rinse bucket. You're gonna need a wash mitt. This is our Super Plush Easy Mitt. It is 70/30 microfiber blend and it's super thick. It's got nice long nappy microfibers on it. This will pick up and hold a ton of soap. This is good for the vehicle if it's coated or not coated. I usually recommend 2 mitts. 1 mitt to do the upper portions of the vehicle and a separate mitt to do the lower portions. Because the lower portion of your vehicle is closer to the road, it's gonna pick up more overspray and tire fling. It's gonna pick up more contaminants. So what we want to avoid is pulling those contaminants up from the bottom of the car onto the rest of the paintwork. So that's why I recommend having 2 mitts for that. You've got 1 for the upper parts and 1 for the bottom. You're also gonna want some gloves. We work with pretty aggressive chemicals, and things that come off of your car can be pretty harmful. You may have an allergic reaction to them. So having a pair of gloves is a good idea. They're a little hard to find right now, so keep your eye out for them. I buy them wherever I see them now. A paint store, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, wherever I can find them, I typically buy them to get my hands on them. This is our professional Foamworks foam cannon. This is what we will use to foam the car, to let it dwell and pull that grit and grime off of the vehicle. We will foam it, let it drop down and pull some of that nastiness off. Then we're gonna rinse, or we'll foam it a second time, and then we'll start our contact wash. A lot of people will rinse after the first foaming. I feel like that's a missed opportunity to introduce way more lubrication to your wash process. Remember, a lubricated surface is a surface that gets less scratched. So with that said, this is our Drift ceramic coating safe shampoo concentrate. This is 600 to 1 concentration. Super thick, it comes out like a gel. There's no glossifiers in this, so you clean the surface and then you can apply your protection and gloss product on top. We will do 2 ounces in our foam cannon, and then we'll do 2.5 in the bucket. You can use more or less. The hardness of your water will directly affect how well a soap foams. This works best if you can use distilled or filtered water, or hot distilled or filtered water in your foam cannon. So what we'll do is we'll put 2 ounces here, 2 ounces in the bucket. When we go to start our contact wash, we'll foam the bucket so we get a ton of super lubricated foam inside of it. And then we'll go to and start our contact wash. You're also going to want one or both of these products. So this is our Kinetic, just generalized super slick detail spray. It leaves amazing gloss. It's great for doing light dusting and fingerprint removal. This is an amazing drying aid, which we'll go over soon. This is our Crush SiO2 Detailer Concentrate. This particular product dilutes down into about 7 different ones. Ceramic coating maintenance spray, standalone sealant, drying aid, waterless wash, rinseless wash, quick detailer, clay lube. It does a ton. If you're in the middle of winter and you can't do a full water wash, you can soak your panel in this and then use super clean microfiber towels to get your car clean. So that's an option for you, but it's only an option if you can use a ton of this, because you want to use as much lubrication as possible. So with that said, we're going to get started, rinse in this, and we're going to go from there. All right, so you can see here that our wheels are super gross. They're covered in salt and road grime. We're going to rinse these really well, and then we're going to go over the cleaning process. All right, now we've got it rinsed. Since these are not ceramic coated, we're going to introduce a very mild non-acid wheel cleaner. If these were ceramic coated, you would just be using regular car soap in your bucket, or a non-acid wheel cleaner that's super diluted. You don't want to be very aggressive at all. I'm going to spray inside the wheel well. All right, now we're going to take our sidewall brush. These are still pretty new, so this isn't going to need anything but one pass. We're going to take our long handle brush and just give a quick scrub on the wheel wells. My foamer is acting a fool here. All right, so now we've got our flag tip brush. Little soft tip face. Get around the lug nuts, around the face. Get into those more intricate places. And that's it. Okay, so we've got our 2-bucket wash system here. You'll see we've got our wash mitt there that's outside the buckets, that's gonna be for the bottom of the car. This is the wash bucket. Here's the rinse bucket. This is gonna be the mitt that we use for the painted surfaces. So, we're gonna take our Drift Ceramic Coating Safe Shampoo Concentrate, and we're gonna give in, that's it. I also like to pour it on top of the mitt. Gives added lubrication to the mitt itself. We're gonna take our foam cannon and we're gonna pour in a very similar amount. That's it. Screw on our foam cannon lid. The biggest thing is not to shake this, just swirl. Just give it a swirl. Swirl to combine, not shake. Because if you shake it, you can introduce unwanted foam, okay? So, put the cap back on our soap. Now we can start rinsing the car. All right, so let's talk pressure washers. So first thing is you don't need a gas pressure washer. Electric is always preferred. Somewhere between 1500 to 2000 PSI, and you're gonna want at least 1.2 to 1 or 1.5 to 2 GPMs, gallons per minute. So the common misconception is that more pressure equals more cleaning power. No. What equals more cleaning power is the amount of water that you're dispersing upon the surface. So that's why we need more GPMs. So this, I have a Kranzel 1622 TS. It's a professional grade power washer. We use it every day. We beat the crap out of it. It keeps on running. This is an MTM SGS 35 Aqualine spray gun. You'll see that this thing is beat up. I throw it, drop it, and it keeps on chugging. This is the MTM 20-inch bent lance. This is great for trucks like this. So now we're gonna rinse the salt off. Remember, you wanna try and work from the top down, so that way you're not sending contaminants up on top of the paint. Look at how gross that running board water is. First thing we're gonna do is foam our wash bucket. When we do that, we plunge the pressure washer into the bucket below the water line. We let it foam, and then we pull it above the water line to start rapidly expanding the foam. All right, now we're gonna foam the truck. So you see, we've got our foam cannon. We've got the adjustment open all the way for maximum foam production. So we turn it all the way to the right clockwise. We've got our fan set accordingly. All right, so now we're gonna foam this guy. This is the best part about washing your car. I don't care what you say. All right, so now you see that it's starting to get to the point where we need to refoam the truck. Things to remember about working with foam soap in the sun. One, It is always better to let the soap dry on the paint than water alone. Soap has water softening agents in it. When soap dries, it can be reanimated and brought back to life. If you let water dry on your vehicle in the sun, you're going to end up with water spots. And that means you're either going to need to use a water spot remover, or you're going to need to polish the vehicle to get those off the surface. And if you have a coating and you let water spots dry on the car, you may have to have your vehicle recoated again. So that's, if you're working on it in direct sunlight, just keep those things in mind. We have our 2 buckets here. We've got our 2 buckets here, our wash and our rinse bucket. So we're going to reach in, pull up our wash mitt. We're going to go side to side, top to bottom, left to right. All right, so you see I've just done the whole hood. For the sake of time, you're not going to see me get up and wash the windshield, but you follow the same property and principle. All right, so now we take our mitt, we send it all the way to the bottom of the rinse bucket. We agitate it on that grit guard. And then we bring it back out, and we dip it into the wash bucket again. So, top to bottom, left to right. Now I'm stopping here. So below here is where there's going to be the most fling from the road sent up onto the paint. So we save that for our second mitt. So after you get done washing one panel, you can flip it over. Get the mirror, top to bottom, left to right. All right, now we're going to come back to our rinse bucket, rinse this guy out, wash bucket, pick up more soap, and we go to the next panel. Realistically, you should be able to do 2 panels for every time you plunge that mitt in the bucket. So we're going to rinse our mitt again, grab more soap, and we're going to move to the next panel. And we're going to get part of the bed cover here too. So now we're going to hit the front of this. And I typically will wash the whole front in one pass. Flip it over. All right, so you see here, we've got our second mitt. Pick up soap. And we're gonna hit these lower sections now. Flip it over, do the next one. We follow the same principle. Come back, rinse, more soap. So we've washed the whole vehicle, now we're going to rinse it. All right, so now we're into the most important stage, drying. So you're gonna need something like Kinetic or Crush. Crush is a much stronger, much more lubricated product. And you're also gonna need a drying towel. This is our 20 by 40 thick with 2 C's drying towel. So the methodology is this. We spray a lubricated solution onto the surface. You'll start to see water break immediately. And then we dry it with the towel. And what that does is A, mops up the solution and levels it out so there's no streaks. And B, we apply protection at the same time. See how the water just kind of drops away? And you don't need a lot. This is it. You can do sweeping motions like this. You can put it on windows, trim. All right, so now we take our drying towel. And it sops up almost all the water that's on the surface. And we're lubricating the surface as to not install any towel marring, which is extremely important. So remember, this is not the finishing step of the wash process. This is just to get the water off the car. All right, so we've dried the whole car using Crush and our thick drying towel. Now, you may not want to use a drying towel, and that's okay. If you have a coated car, you can just use air. This is a pet dryer from Amazon. It was like 80 bucks. We'll use this to blow all the water out of the cracks and crevices that the towel can't get. And if your vehicle is coated, you can use this to dry your vehicle in a non-touch manner. Something to consider. If you're washing in direct sunlight, you will likely have water dry on the car before you have a chance to get all the way around the vehicle with a blower, even a giant leaf blower. So my recommendation is this. Do the majority of your drying with a towel and a drying aid like Crush or Kinetic. Then follow up with your drying apparatus, whatever that may be. We just use this to chase water out of the cracks, and we can mop them up with the towel if need be. And you can just chase the water off the vehicle. All right, guys, so you've seen how easy it is to wash a vehicle when it's ceramic coated. Here are some things to remember. One, you want to favor gallons per minute versus output pressure when you're choosing your pressure washer. Look at brands like Kranzel, Comet, and AR. Their Blue Clean series is great. Two, you want to introduce as much lubrication as possible during the wash process. The more lubricated the surface is, the less damage you're going to do. Two, if it's super grimy and dirty, we want to use the 2-bucket method. And we want to have 2 mitts, one for the upper side of the vehicle, one for the lower portions that are closest to the ground. That separates the 2 areas so that we don't cross-contaminate and bring dirt and grime up off the bottom and grind it into the paint. 3, we want to make sure that we use a super lubricated soap. The ideal soap is our Drift ceramic coating safe shampoo concentrate. It's super lubricated and produces a ton of foam, works well in a foam cannon, a garden hose foam gun, and the wash bucket as well. You're going to need to dry the vehicle afterwards. You're going to want to use a microfiber towel, something that's 1200 GSM or better. Our thick drying towel is probably the best bet. It's 20 by 40, 1100 GSMs if I'm not mistaken, 11 or 1200. And you're going to want to use that with a drying aid like Kinetic, which is a great one, super slick, evaporates very quickly and easily with the drying towel. If you're looking for a little bit more protection and to some increased gloss and slickness, you're going to want to grab our Crush SI Detailer Concentrate. That breaks down into a bunch of different products and provides a ton of lubrication for the drying process. And the last thing is if you have ceramic coated wheels, you don't want to use a super heavy cleaning agent. Typically just car soap is enough and high pressure water. That's pretty much it. So now you know how you need to take care of your ceramic coated vehicle. Don't forget to hit us up if you have any questions or you want to find out about a process or a product. We're here to help. You can visit us at totaldetailingpa.com. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or send us an email. Whatever you need, we're here for you. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.